Hello everyone, Espurr here. Now what did today game on TC Brine Water, or we're watching the Wiper. Let's see. Only real noteworthy thing on this comp is just, or on the other comp, is stay away from the ledges really. Yeah, that's about it. Anyways. So here, you gotta go optimal here. You only hit one shot, but no, whatever, it's fine. Moving over to the left, what's your plan? Okay, so you do leave, that's good. Or do back off a little bit. You are surrounded. I do want to mention though, so while you're fighting like that, fighting over on the left, because you're so focused on pushing into the enemy's base, that meant you got surrounded. Yeah. What you could have done to not get surrounded like that would have been to either like take it a little bit slower and paint around. No, that's the only thing you really could have done. Actually, no. You could have either done that, yeah, go slower and paint around, or go dive in really deep and really hard, really fast. Second option isn't a good idea though, especially with the when the Splatling was looking at you and shooting. At that point, you'd probably just want to back off and paint around. Anyways, let's see how you deal with this. So you take a different angle to get rid of the blaster. Alright. Now that's the last guy. Okay, good. At some point you do give up the chase, and you do... Okay, so when you give up the chase, you don't just stop. You don't just stand there. At least, okay. When there's one person alive, and you're trying to chase them out of your base, and they are leaving, and they are running away. At some point, you need to stop and take control, take the paint, basically. You need to paint. Now you did stop. That is good. But then you didn't paint, and that was bad. Alright, so here, got your special. Let's try to go pop and go for a snipe. You can really easily snipe the... What's it called? Okay, you're pretty weak. You can pretty easily snipe that guy. Yeah, I do want to point out, you probably know this, but you... every second you spent being suppressed was a second you couldn't really help anyone. And not only that, and you have a tool to get you out of that spot. You could have tried throwing a hammer, but you didn't. I don't know why. You saved the hammer to hop here, and then you died to a range blaster. Really, if you just snipe the what is it, the Splatling, you probably would have been able to actually help. It wasn't really a hard shot to make. Going flanking here was not a good idea. It was obvious. Or not necessarily obvious, but it was really easily seen. Instead, just play at the front. If you really want to... Yeah. No, just play at the front. I think the only times you're really able to do flanks like those are when no one's in mid. And if no one's in mid, then it's kind of not worth flanking. So you also have, or the enemy just, the enemy's just really inattentive. That could also be a situation. Anyways, let's try to get some turf. There we go. More. Get more. Good. And a little bit too. Okay. That's not necessarily I mean, you were kind of asking for a bit too much at that moment. I just wanted a little bit more, not their entire enemy, not the entire base. You couldn't get that. Not only that, but I think what's killing you a lot with the stamps is it seems like it really does feel like you aren't really throwing the stamps. And yeah, the rush mode was buffed. But there is still problems with the rush mode that you're encountering right now. Fundamental problems. Like, as you go in deep, the main weakness of the rush mode with stamp is when you get surrounded, you're probably going to die. And that's a fine weakness to have. But if you go forward and rush more, you're more likely to get surrounded. So the longer you use your rush mode, the more likely you are to get surrounded and die. And that's pretty bad. So oftentimes, it's still better to just toss your stamp. Because another thing to think about, every second you're in your stamp is another second you're not able to paint or use your actual main weapon. Because your main weapon does have advantages over your stamp. Like paint and maneuverability. And a sub button. But anyways. Oh, and range. Range is the big one. You can't go in. Back off. You backed off too late. Yeah. So the moment you should have realized that it was a bad time to go in. The moment that person with you died. Or rather, yeah, the moment that person with you died. Or you can just look back to when I said to leave. That's when I realized it was time to get out. Anyways, you're gonna try to dive left. No, you don't. You get on the tower. What are you doing? Okay, so you don't know what you're doing. I figured that since you dropped over to the... Toss your hammer! It's not worth rushing in. Anyways. Yeah. It seemed like when you dropped down that you had an idea of what to do. It was to me, there was an obvious thing to do. There are two people to the left. Alright, flush them out. But then you tried to get in a tower and then got off. And I just want to make sure you know the reason why, you died really there was just because you weren't really doing anything. You were indecisive, really. So to prevent that, whenever you try to jump in, it's highly recommend, or respawn or whatever, it's highly recommended that you look at your map and figure out, okay, where are the enemy, where are my teammates, and what do I want to do? The map's useful. Anyways. Okay. So, I am noticing there's two reasons why you die. One reason is because you aren't really doing anything. Like you're being indecisive or just your choices don't actually do anything. The other reason is that you don't realize when it's time to leave, basically. That's really the main issues I'm seeing. Let's see. Game's almost up. You forgot about the respawns. Or, no, it wasn't a respawn. Okay. Well, you had to push in anyways. No, you had to get the kill. It had to be clean. Yeah. In order for that push to actually work, you had to have gotten a clean kill. Clean kill, then pop the hammer, snipe the, what's called the splatling, or snipe the splatling before you pop, or what is it? Pop the hammer to snipe the splatling, and then get the other kill. That's probably the better thing to do. Really, it feels like you just aren't... I wonder if it's a theme for you where you just don't really use hammer throws. Because hammer throws are really useful. Like, it's basically a Zuka shot, and Zukas are really good. Trying to force rush modes all the time is only going to get yourself killed, which is what happened every single time you tried using hammer this game. I think hammer killed you like 3 to 4 times. And that's not good. But yeah, that'll be it for today. See y'all.